Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that. Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. In today's video, I'm going to break down how the VA rater is supposed to rate a diagnosis of insomnia. Make sure you stick around because you do not want to make mistakes when you're applying for service connection for insomnia. So insomnia can be very tricky when it comes to being rated. So what I'm going to show you today is walk you through how the manual states insomnia should be rated. All right. So if you have a current diagnosis of insomnia and you're trying to figure out, hey, how do I get service connected for it? I'm going to clear it up for you today. So let's go ahead and get into it. Slide number one. Here in slide number one, I'm taking you to the VA's M21 manual reference, considering service connection for insomnia. That's what SC stands for, service connection. Now, normally I don't copy the entire M21 manual reference. This one I did because I felt it was important and you needed to understand it. So I have some stuff highlighted in red, I have some stuff underlined in black. Those are the areas that I'm going to be focusing on. But you have the number and the name of this M21 manual reference, so you can go out and read it again, or you can pause this video, okay? So the first bullet comment in red, insomnia is generally considered a symptom of another disability due to coexisting medical or neurological conditions. They said generally. Keep that in mind. The second paragraph, when insomnia is adequately identified as a symptom of another underlying disability, service connection should be established for that diagnosis rather than insomnia. Okay? Keep that in mind. When insomnia is adequately identified as a symptom of another underlying disability, service connection should be established for that diagnosis rather than for insomnia. Now, you may say, Dwayne, well, how would they know that? When you submit this evidence, you need to go through there and read it. If there's a diagnosis for something else and they say, hey, residuals, and they list insomnia, boom, they got you. They won't be able to break out insomnia separately. A separate evaluation is not warranted. I just said it, not warranted for insomnia that is considered secondary to or a symptom of another disability. I'm gonna read that again because this is a nugget. I bet you didn't catch it. A separate evaluation is not warranted for insomnia that is considered secondary to or a symptom of another disability. So does it make sense to say I'm claiming a diagnosis of insomnia secondary to sleep apnea? They just said it. A separate evaluation is not warranted for insomnia that is considered secondary. Boom. There it is. Save yourself a lot of headache. All right, let's move along. What I have underlined. However, service connection can be established on a direct basis for insomnia in the absence of a known or established underlying etiology if an event in service. So direct basis, you need three elements. What are those three elements for direct basis or direct service connection, as I call it? A current diagnosis, a link in service, and a nexus connecting the two. An event in service, a current diagnosis of insomnia disorder meeting DSM-5 diagnostic criteria. So an event in service and a current diagnosis. That's two. The third bullet comment, a nexus, establishing insomnia disorder post-service is connected to the event in service. That's for any condition, the nexus. So you have an event in service, current diagnosis, and a nexus. Whether it's back, migraines, whatever, but today we're talking about insomnia, all right? Down at the bottom it says important, a separate service-connected evaluation for a diagnosis of insomnia disorder is only warranted if all other potential causes are ruled out and service connection can be established on a direct basis. So again, if you have been getting a lot of mental health treatment, go through those records, because if the rater catches that, hey, or sees insomnia is a subcomponent of something else, they're telling you they can't evaluate it separately. All right. So it's important that you go out and do the legwork and look through some of this evidence that you're submitting. Just don't rely on your VSO. Just don't rely on your claims agent. And definitely just do not rely on that lawyer, because at the end of the day, it's your responsibility because you're submitting this. Even though they're submitting on your behalf, this is where this education comes in. Slide number 2. Here in slide number 2, the notes section of the same M21 manual reference. Told you it was kind of long. DSM-5 revised the diagnostic terminology from primary insomnia to insomnia disorder. All right. So again, if you're going to a private examiner, ask them, hey, if I have insomnia, what is the correct diagnosis under the DSM-5? They should go to that DSM-5 and see insomnia disorder, not primary insomnia, okay? Accordingly, a valid diagnosis of insomnia disorder meeting DSM-5 criteria means that insomnia condition is not caused by or secondary, there it is saying it again, or secondary to any other condition, all right? Now, it says when evaluating insomnia disorder, rate analogously under an appropriate diagnostic code under 38 CFR 4.130. I'm not going to cover analogously because I have to put together a rating code sheet to show you how that looks on the code sheet, okay? To really break it down for you so you understand it. And then it gives you another 38 CFR 4.20 that you can go and do research and find more information on analogous ratings, all right? So I know that may seem confusing for you, but let me break it down for you so you understand it. 2 things. If insomnia is an underlying symptom of something else, they can't break it out separately, okay? 2, if you're treating service for it and diagnose, what do you need? A current diagnosis, a link, which you should have if it's in service, and then a nexus connecting the 2. And it cannot be secondary to something else. All right? So that's why I always preach education. You can use the M21-1 manual reference to leapfrog to court cases of 38 CFRs. I showed you on slide 2, 238 CFRs. Okay? So would it make sense to say, oh, I'm claiming insomnia secondary to my service-connected condition? They just told you you couldn't do it. And if it's an underlying symptom of something else, it cannot be broken out separately, but it can be granted on a direct basis. Remember the 3 elements of direct service connection: current diagnosis, link in service, and a nexus connecting those 2. Do not overthink the process when it comes to insomnia. Take the time and get educated. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.